Here with me is the PRISM Flow, and I've been using it for a while now, and here is my review of the soundbar and its wireless subwoofer. The Flow comes in this huge black box that advertises dolby audio, Bluetooth and HDMI as written on the box. To unbox it, it is best to lay flat on the ground, which I should have begun with at the beginning. You are greeted with the soundbar upon opening the box, and the subwoofer is separated in its own compartment. It only comes in one color, which is black, and a simple branding at the side of the soundbar. It has two rubber bases at the bottom to prevent accidental sliding of the soundbar, and the ports, you have the power plug at the top, and from left to right at the bottom, a line in, a USB-A, a HDMI out, a coaxial, and an optical port. At the side of the soundbar, you have the power button, an input source, and volume down and up buttons. As for the subwoofer, the sound is coming from the black circle at the side, and at the back, there's a power plug and a pair button. It is a wireless subwoofer, so there isn't a need to connect the soundbar and the subwoofer physically. Other things that are in the box are this instruction manual, a remote controller, two power plugs for the subwoofer and the soundbar, a line-in cable, a mount if you want to, and a HDMI cable. So in a typical scenario, the soundbar is usually connected to a TV, but for my use case, I actually connect it to the PC. So to connect to the PC, the only connectivity I have is Bluetooth, because all the other ports are mainly for connecting to the TV. There is a USB-A port at the back which you could actually connect a thumb drive if you want to listen to purely audio only. The Flow is a 2.1 dolby audio soundbar, so the best scenario is to have it in a room. If you want to place it in a much bigger environment such as the living room, there is another alternative from PRISM Plus, which is the Symphony, and that is a 5.1.2, which actually covers a bigger surrounding to give you a more immersive sound experience compared to the Flow. And recently there is one newly launched, which is Ripple, which actually sits in between the Flow and Symphony, and that is a 3.1.2 channel. So setting up the Flow is rather straightforward. For the soundbar, because I actually connect it to a PC, I'll actually set up the Bluetooth pairing mode in order to pair the soundbar and the PC for the very first time. It is the standard way of pairing a typical Bluetooth devices, which is to actually go to the Bluetooth settings on your PC and connect to the Flow. As for the subwoofer, it should actually automatically pair with the soundbar, but if it does not for some reason, there's actually a pair button at the back of the subwoofer for you to actually pair the subwoofer and the soundbar together. So the primary sound actually comes from the soundbar, which is definitely a big step up upgrade compared to the speakers that I have previously, which is directly from the monitor itself. The subwoofer actually gives that additional bass, which is definitely useful, especially if I'm listening to music or actually watching movies, that gives that more immersive experience. So for every time I switch on the soundbar, you could actually see from the digital interface at the front, which shows you the last input source, which is Bluetooth for me. But if you will actually connect to the TV using the different ports at the back, you could actually select the input source either from the side of the soundbar or with the remote controller provided to switch between the inputs. The only downside of switching between the inputs is that it is one cycle. So for every time you miss the input source, you actually have to loop one round instead of actually going back and forth or selecting the specific input source. And for every time that I pair and unpair the Bluetooth, and for every time I pair and unpair the soundbar to the PC, there's actually a feedback that actually plays out from the soundbar.
Disconnected. Paired.
So there is one annoying thing which I find playing the audio from the soundbar is that whenever I play a new video source, it actually takes a while, like 0.5 to 1 seconds, to actually play the audio to the speaker. So that first portion of it will actually not be played out through the speaker unless I actually rewind it to the very beginning. So for the sound quality, if for some reason you actually do not like the sound quality of the soundbar, you can actually tune it like how you tune the EQ on a true wireless earpiece on your phone. For this case, there's actually a remote control for you to actually tune the treble and the bass depending on how much more or how much less you want to actually add or decrease for both of them respectively. Apart from tuning the treble and the bass, there are also 5 different modes that you could actually change from, which are music, news, sport, gaming, and movie. Initially, I'll actually change it based on what I'm doing on the PC, but after changing between the modes for the first few times, I actually just stick it to movies because I feel that there are very minimal difference, at least to my listening. And it is also troublesome that you could actually only change this based on the remote control, which I actually rarely use. Most of the time I actually would control the volume via the PC rather than the remote control or the soundbar, and the input source is fixed at Bluetooth whenever I were to use the soundbar. For the remote control, there's actually the power button, which is to turn on or off your soundbar. There is a mute button for you to instantly mute it if there is a need to. There is the source and mode for you to switch between the sources, the mode. There is the volume button for you to actually control the soundbar instead of the PC if you want to. There is actually the play and pause button, which you could actually control, say if you are watching a movie. There is a brightness button to actually control the display at the soundbar. You could switch between 3 different levels of brightness or completely switch it off. And there is the bass and treble button where you could actually decrease or increase them respectively. Personally, I do not use the controller a lot, but if you are someone who actually connect your soundbar to a TV, I feel that the remote control could be rather handy for you to actually play and pause your shows if there is a need to. So other specification that you want to care about is definitely its dimension, because the soundbar and the subwoofer definitely occupy quite a space, especially for me, which I have a rather small table. So the soundbar dimensions are 58 by 82 by 890 mm, and the subwoofer is 345 by 313 by 170 mm. So for the price, the soundbar costs $269, which I feel it is one of the more affordable or cheaper soundbar compared to the competition out there. So overall, I do like how the soundbar is a good step up compared to the built-in speakers that I have from the PC. There is no latency while watching shows even though it is connected via Bluetooth. The only downside for me, I feel, is that first 0.5 to 1 second whenever I play a new video output source. Other than that, the price should be rather affordable compared to the rest of the competition out there. But if you are someone who wants to find a review for a TV, I hope there is actually one out there, whether it is written or a video form. If not, if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, do comment down if you have any opinions, and do subscribe for future videos like this. Thanks for watching.